Welcome everybody. Oh my goodness, another soulful conversation full of love, support. I'm Victoria Naganis from Greece, and I have a wonderful guest today. I love her. She's the SoulSister Anna Brown, Ascension Heart, Queen of Hearts, Deliberate Creator, Activator.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. And what we do in this soulful conversation, these are about, feeling into what's happening right now in this ascension, awakening, journey, experience. And I'm connecting, that when the spirit take over, it just brings me all these wonderful souls that we can have these conversations that can be so like an assistance and guiding and helpful on the practical level, on the daily life, because this is what we are realize. Okay, I woke up, now what? But today we're going to go into multidimensionality. How can we anchor the new energy, new timelines, and on the same time to work allowing all dissolving. So Anna, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. Many blessings. Thank you.
And how tell me about anything that comes first with your heart?
Yeah, guys. So to anchor in the multidimensional presence, we really have to be rooted in the now. We have to be present, because if not, it's kind of like the waves take us over and we're just tossed around kind of like a rag doll because of the energy. So we really have to be that eye of the hurricane, that still point with whatever's going on in our fields. Okay. And when our mind and hearts are in coherence, we're able to integrate the light codes. Okay. So we get activated in our field first. So there's a field around our body. We can call it the aura, right? And it holds all of this information. And that is what gets activated first. But if your physical body is stressed, your nervous system is overstimulated, the codes cannot integrate. Your soul can't integrate because the body is basically like rejecting it. It's like it's tightened up. And so there's no resonance. The higher self cannot smoothly integrate into form. It's just like it gets ejected, basically. So what we have to do is align with the moment, align with our hearts and our breaths, slow it down, be very mindful so that all of this information can get integrated. Does that make sense? Slowing down to go fast.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing that I would like to add, because, I am always in the observer, or also I'm hearing the questions that come in always with things that we're saying. People are confused by thinking that the biology has to be in a certain way. It doesn't mean only the physical weight that is standing in the way, because the density is not only in our muscles or in our weight. As you said, it's old and it's like a stuck energy. And sometimes somebody can be really skinny, or they can even go and they train themselves, but it's not from the state of enjoying.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
People think they train, and if they just be in physical and fitness, and oh my goodness, this is also depending, as you said, where are you coming from when you do these things? Are you in the now moment?
Yes. And density, it's not just weight. Yeah. Like your thought forms can be dense, your emotional density. Okay. So it's how you're thinking and how you're feeling. So getting into what we would call the new earth realms or the ascended state is a feeling. You have to feel that opening of the heart. Okay. We have to open this up in order to be in resonance, because it's all resonance. It's all energy. So it's not like 3D linear where it's an ABCD. It's not like that. This is quantum, and everything is just energy and resonance. Is it in alignment or is it out of alignment? And in order to be in those higher dimensions, we have to vibrate at that frequency. Okay. And you can only raise your frequency by, like what you just said, you have to be present. That is foundation. Foundation is presence, right? That's the foundation.
Yeah. And the presence, which it's like not just being in the mind, oh my God, I'm present, this is what's happening, not just observing what is going on around you, but the presence that is so connected with the multidimensionality that I want you to talk a little bit about that, because I know there are a lot of souls right now that will be drawn to that video as well, that want to know because they feel something, the inner knowing is coming to this concepts, multidimensionality, ascension, but they don't quite understand yet, and it needs to be understood in here as well, because when we lack this information, we go into fear. Fear. So I would like us a little bit to give your perspective on what is a multidimensional being? What is multidimensionality?
Okay, so multidimensional basically means we as consciousness are operating on different levels, okay? So dimensions are just state of consciousness, okay? And we're operating on infinite levels, okay? And depending on where you're vibrating or what your current state of consciousness is, determines the dimension you occupy. So a lot of people think that New Earth is just like, we're going to shift over, it's a brand new type of thing. What it is we all share the same space. So for example, I could be at a restaurant operating from New Earth energy, from higher dimensional states, but I could be sitting next to somebody who's in the third dimension. We're in the same space, different states of consciousness. Does that make sense how it works? So it's not like a physical place where I'm just going to like get on a bus and go to. It's your frequency, your state of consciousness, and you're moving in and out of those all the time. Like every now you're shifting, right? Does that make sense? Is that pretty clear?
It is clear. I would add also that for some people, like when in my coaching as well, I say, you can make it so easy for you. You don't have to really understand it like, oh, am I now like in the fifth dimension? What is it, multidimensional? It's always about how you're feeling. Are you feeling open? If you are feeling like you're, wow, like when we met with Anna, we were just and we are like different like spots on this planet. It doesn't matter the distance or whatever. Whenever you are in your heart space, and we're going to talk about it because I feel like this is the cure. No, this is the key for everything. Whenever you are in your heart space, which means you are so with your highest self, like holding hands, rocking, dancing. It's like you're so connected. You feel what it feels. You feel what it says to you, how it guides, because it's you on another level. So when you feel like everything is just flowing, no matter what's happening, like everything dissolving, changing, you're ending relationships, something, but you're so present, and you're like, I know that this is supposed to be, this is you being on your another dimension, which is in heart dimension, which is 5th or 6th. It doesn't matter the number.
Right.
What matters is when you go to this scared and restricted, and which we will talk about it, because it's one of it is a part of this process of, when you are in that space. But how you perceive it is the importance. So that's for me how I describe to people. Multidimensional is like you're not just, when you wake up, you're not just in one dimension.
Right. And it's also good to add too that we're multidimensional and we're infinite. So that means we've played on both the light and the dark sides. And through the ascension process, we integrate and embody all of our aspects. Okay. So we can't just say we've worked for the light. We've repped the light, because that would basically be saying you're a food expert, but all you eat is bananas. Right? We've experienced it all. That's what infinity is. And and this is really why we're such amazing love workers and love players, is because we know what it's like to be in the trenches. We know what it's like to be in the darkness, and we know exactly what it needs to come home into our heart space.
Wow. I want you to talk about that, because I know you're so an expert on like helping and giving the people to understand that it's okay to embrace these parts. And don't lose it yourself in that. Like, right. And I will add on that.
Yeah. So guys, you're going to have these dense emotions come to you, these aspects of, let's say, unworthiness, insecurity, poverty, whatever it is, or even really kind of what we would say, like evil kind of thought forms and stuff like that. We have to, as observing consciousness, as love, as awakened beings, we don't cling to it. We don't identify with it, but we create space and we hold space and love for it, right? So we don't let it take over our thoughts and our emotional body and we wear it like a Halloween costume. We don't do that. What we do is we see that it is simply an energy that has been suppressed and oppressed for millennia, and it's coming to you like a moth to a flame to be integrated into the light of consciousness. Now, these shadow aspects will be afraid to integrate at first because they feel they're deemed unworthy. They don't feel that they are good enough to enter the light of the kingdom. Okay. But we have to reassure and love and parent these parts. Okay. And speak to these energies like we've never been spoken to before. So basically you become your own soulmate to your inner realms. Yeah. We love everything back into unity. Love is what unifies and integrates everything.
Yeah. I sometimes say, you become your mother, your father, and these are the kids coming back to you. And for some time, they lost they wanted to break free for whatever reason. You just, like, there are aspects that you cut yourself out and you did what you did, and now they're coming back. So the question would be, and I feel the questions are in the air, for someone who just, had their first ever experience like this. And they say, like, how can I be present and not be attached to this? And how can I not be, drawn to it? It's difficult. I cannot do that. And I would say, because I know you cannot have the viewer and the holding the space from the first, period. And you know that, and I know that. And this is where I would say, and I would love to hear from you on that topic as well, what the gradual, everyday prioritizing your connection with your truth self, your God self, your first self, whatever that is, but that has to do with when you come out of this ceremony, ritual, you are really feeling the depth of connection. Yeah. For someone who's dancing, for someone who's breathing, I would say, like, I'm working. It's like, let's experiencing these 21 days. For one, like, everybody's coming online, and we do this like 21 minutes meditation that has flow, that has movement, and then we do the breathing, and then we just stand still. We go to the deeper connection. And I had a lot of people coming just because they heard something. And then they realized that there's something occurred in them, and that was the awareness, which is so connected to these dark nights of the soul that we say that when it is becoming stronger and stronger. So whenever you are wounded and you are in that, like, lower and in that aspect that you need to, cultivate the understanding that this is a process and I need to be with this emotion and feel into it. This presence of awareness is so strong that, yes, you can break through it and not break down.
Right.
How you feel about, like, is it something that you also feel?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think presence is one thing, because at first, if you're aware of it, you realize, oh, I'm not it. Because how can I be aware of it if you know what I mean? So, but for me, what I do is I complement the aspects. I sit there with my hand on my heart, and I will literally, like a mantra, I will say, I love you. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Or even I'll say, like a mantra, may you be blessed. May you be blessed. So that the grip of the unconsciousness can open, because it's just afraid, right? So when we automatically go into love, into compliments, you're automatically inserting a higher vibration. You're automatically your higher self in that moment, because you're responding from a higher state of consciousness, which is love. Okay. Now, if you were still stuck in that energy, you would be like, oh my gosh, I'm stuck in this energy. This is who I am. What do I do? You kind of have that freak out. Okay. So be present, and then realize that you can start complimenting yourself. You can focus your energy on love, on what this energy needs, right? Does that make sense how that kind of works?
Yeah. Sure. And that's really, I think it's really supportive, because it's like we're seeing all this, the path, how it's unfolds, and for sure every time it becomes easier and easier to see that, and then to realize that It's an experience. You just breathe. At some point, some of the aspects, you just breathe in. Okay, you just feel that feeling of what it is, and you just let it go. You just say, okay, that's me taking my power back. This is the other thing I wanted. Do you feel how with these all aspects and parts of ourselves that coming back, we gain our power back?
Oh yeah. Yeah, because think of it this way, the shadow is the energy. And your shadow is actually going to holds your gifts. That's the paradox of reality, really, is the darkness is actually what holds all of your beautiful divine gifts and what you're here to do, right? They call it the healer's wound. I think sometimes people call it that. But it's understanding that, because some people, when we're on this path, we go into like the light versus dark, and we're in that duality. There's a war going on, which creates a war in our internal world, which creates a world, a battle externally. So we have to understand that all of that shadow stuff is really subconscious programming. Okay. So, and most of the time we're running on subconscious programming. I think it's like 90 to 95% of the day, which means you're only using like 5% of your actual conscious mind. Right? So basically, if we're not awake, we're running on programming. So we first have to bring that up. You're realizing, oh my gosh, I'm running on conditioning, on programming that was handed down to me from people, right? That's not even me. And then we have to, as the directors of our movies, because we are the writers of our script, we have to insert a new software programming. And we do that by thinking new thoughts, because new thoughts lead to new beliefs lead to new decisions, and new decisions lead to new experiences, and that is evolution. That is the unfolding, okay? But your emotional body holds programming, and it's going to influence your thoughts, okay? So we have to be able to focus and align and think and imagine and visualize greater than the conditioning, than the density of the emotional body and the programming. And we can only do that, like we've been saying, through presence, through paying attention.
Yeah, paying attention, being present, and also realizing that your consciousness, your mental field, your physical field, your emotional field are not evolving in the same rhythm.
Mm.
So, and it's so important to understand. Some people say, but I felt that breath, I felt that expansion.
Yeah.
I was so flying high, and I felt that feeling of wanting and feeling that I'm already there. Why is it not here? Why am I not constantly or not?
Yes.
Oh my goodness! Actually, guys, this is the journey, and your body. The body understand, like, has the final realization is happening on the body. So you need to give time, everything to integrate. But what we're talking about in the new earth and new dimensions, let's say in higher dimensions, when we go through this, you know how I feel these mechanisms, they're adapting to new when you are sometime on that path, and you've gone through and you're breathing and you're doing the presence. At some point, yes, all the fields, they're kind of jumping into the new kind of all together, but still you have some symptoms, which I want us also to jump in. Because you know what people do? We used to do that too. When something starts to happening in the body, we tend to fear, and we go back and say, no, I'm doing something wrong. This is evil. This is not good. Something's happening. I'm forgetting. I don't know who I am. What am I doing? I just left this job. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to sleep. So it's okay. Anna, tell us.
Yeah. So you said it so perfectly. So basically, your consciousness accesses it first. So your consciousness is awake. It's ascended. Your body's playing catch up, and our body plays catch up by dropping density. And how does it drop density? Intense emotions, outbursts, like loud thoughts, fatigue, nausea, all of that kind of stuff is how your body drops density. So the third dimensional mind would say, I'm sick. Something's wrong with me. Now, side note, I'm not saying that this is any reason for you to not go to the doctor. Always see a doctor if it's going to assist you. Okay. But what I'm saying is, through both of our experiences, we have had this. I have been laid flat for days before. I've had what we would call the ascension flu. I have had moments where I have felt completely out of my body and ungrounded, like vertigo and just like, woo, right? And most of my days are spent now like I'm walking in a lucid dream. And all of that is your body anchoring the higher dimensions, because your body is going offline from the old world. the matrix of the third dimension, and it's being shifted into the new grid work of the new earth. So your body is going to feel stuff, right? I always say, ask the caterpillar. It could not have been comfortable going from a cute little chunky thing to a cocoon and then to a butterfly. Okay, so this is evolution. We're going to feel it. We're going to feel it. But like you said, how is your perception?
What I was saying, this is my last webinar. I was saying about the caterpillar and the butterfly. Imagine, can you compare even those two? No. Beings.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this is the transformation. And of course, we are not making it sound so easy, but we are here to tell you guys that we're not we are losing our density linear mind. You remember the phrase, I don't want to lose my mind? Yes. We are losing our density linear mind. Yesterday, now, tomorrow. 1 and 1 equals 2. This is linear. We are becoming quantum, multidimensional, and that cannot just happen overnight, or it can just, can happen without us noticing it. You will notice. You will feel one day light, like you want to fly. You feel like you can fly. You don't feel it in your body, and the next day you just want to lay on your bed and not move. And us, both of us, because we are also mamas, we have little ones, and I'm sure there are a lot of mamas out there and daddies as well that are in this process, and it's so important that we bring that up. And I'm sure we're gonna do a lot of SoulFul Conversations with Anna, and we will talk about that, because it's really like we chose something that is not, let's say, easy, but this is what we chose as souls, to wake up and become also parents to this, like, okay, rainbow or indigo, or children, and it is a responsibility. So on top of all of that, we also, it's like we want to go through that with ease and grace as much as we can, because we have the little ones as well. No?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you do have kids out there, guys, there's times like one of our first awakening, doing Ring Around the Rosie with my daughter. I was like, okay, whoa. Like, it was just, I got off a circus ride because of how dizzy and the vertigo. And I would start to feel kind of guilt. I would have my human ego would bring up guilt because I was feeling so out of sorts, and I couldn't be like one-on-one with her because I was feeling all wonky. And we just have to forgive that and love that, because let's remember, your child chose you. So behind the veils, your child knows exactly what's going on, is supporting you, knows that they chose the ascension timeline, and they're here to assist you in your highest embodiment. Okay, so just know there's times when me and my daughter Luna will just cuddle up on the couch because I'm integrating, or maybe I have tons of energy and we're getting out on the land on Gaia, and I teach her about the heart center, and I teach her all about unity consciousness and new earth now and all of this kind of stuff. So I really teach her everything I learn on the ascension path, obviously at the level of a 3-year-old, right? But yes, you're going to have to just adapt. Sometimes you're going to be tired and you'll have to take naps with them, or vice versa. But just know we're all going through this. We're here for you, and just know that we love you guys, and that you do have the power to get through this. It's all inside of you. Okay.
This is the new paradigm of every relationship that is building right now, and we are building it because we are going through that, and we are making, like, we see how it works. And as you said, it's so important. No guilt, no shame, no nothing, because I said at some point, I was like, I'm such a, like, I need to be that way or that way for you. And then there is that guidance, that voice came through, like, there is no better mama for Angelos than you. And it was such a relief. Like, it's not about how much you do. It's about me, again, as much authentic and true you are to yourself, the baby will understand, the boy or the girl, like, doesn't matter the age. And the other thing that I wanted to add is that there is such a tremendous support also from your soul family, which is on earth.
Yeah.
Like, when I said I need guidance, and it might be not your family or your family, but there are people that came, like like nannies, they just came to support people that know, like Anayanis, the school and all the work. Victoria, and they just showed up for no reason. And then I realized it's not me doing it. It's just the divine guidance and support. So let the universe, let the source help you and assist you when you feel like, oh my goodness, how can I go through that? It's so enormous, as it is enormous in our path, in our ascension process. Whenever you feel down, there is always guidance. And so it is for these kind of occasions with our children, because the new earth and we are like the bridge, we are the bridge.
Yeah.
We're showing how it can be done for those who come because this is what we chose. It's not better or worse. It's not higher or lower. It's just the fact. It's how it is.
Right.
And this is the passion, and this is how everything brought us together with Anna, and we're here to talk about it further. So you touched a little bit about the anchoring, the higher dimensions, higher energy, and how it is manifesting for you in the physical. How you see, let us see the process. Okay, expansion, and then boom, you see that manifestation on the physical.
Yeah. So basically what happens is, like I was saying, is you'll be like high vibing, you're like accelerated, expansive, right? And then you almost, it's like you hit this wall. You're like, whoa, what just happened? All the stuff's coming up. I was just high vibe yesterday. It was amazing. And now I feel I'm at the pits. Like, what is this? What is going on, higher self? Right? And what it is it's basically like an initiation saying, hey, are you ready? You ready to go to this new paradigm? Are you ready to let go of those lack beliefs that are not serving you or this planet? It's basically an initiation saying, here is your old self. It's like a graduation party. I like to teach people that if you've ever played Mario, it's like Bowser at the end of a level, which that Bowser is you. It's your old self. And you have to say, okay, face to face with you and you, which is just your energies. Am I going to cower and go back to the comfort zone? Or am I going to hold the hand of the light and of love, and I'm going to trust through this little portal? I call it the birth canal because it's a little uncomfortable, because when you go through that birth canal, you're going to open up into a new paradigm. You're going to see the light. But before you see the light, it gets a little dark and it gets a little tight. Okay. So we have to trust through that. Cause I'm telling you, every time I've gone through a valley and I've trusted and I've loved myself and I've held my vision and my focus, I've always come through the other side to an even greater, more expansive, more high vibrational reality. But you have to understand that when you do get more light, when you activate more of your DNA, that old will come up. It's totally normal, but see it as exciting and not as a burden, because that's going to shift your whole experience of it. Okay. Perception is everything here.
Yeah. You talk about it as well, like the perception, because like the thing that I would ask you on all of the work, and like you will talk about a little bit what you do as well, how people can be assisted by you. I know you're doing coaching and sessions and supporting, and also all the videos on your YouTube. But if I would ask you, like, what are the 3 main keys for someone that is taking this path, let's say consciously? Because the conscious transformation, I like to call it like, this is the process of conscious transformation and rebirth. And let's focus more on this, the conscious transformation, the procedure itself, the path. What would be your keys to share with the world so that it can make them easier?
Yeah. Okay, guys. So every morning, it's very important what you do. Okay. So our subconscious mind there's a big wide open door that opens up to our programming twice. It's when you first wake up in the morning and right before you go to sleep, in that in-between space. Okay. So whatever you do in the morning is literally setting the foundation for your whole day, because you're the director of where you're going to focus, where you're going to send your energy. So in the morning, even if you got kiddos, wake up before your kids, take time to meditate, whether that's lotus, dancing, yoga, but whatever it is, take time to align with your soul, to align with source. I, every morning, align with my heart chakra. I meditate for a minimum of 10 minutes on my heart space, and I bring forth elevated emotions. So I meditate on gratitude, and I literally, like, I charge my field with that energy. And so that's what I'm saying. This is what I want my reality, right? So I bring forth the open heart chakra. I also call forth new earth realities. And I say literally, new earth now, bring me new earth. Let's bring some ascended awesomeness today. So I call it forth. So I use my throat chakra calling it forth because that's your birthright. Okay. So definitely have a meditation practice and definitely take time to like open up, align with source and surrender to the guidance that you are given. Because a lot of the time spiritual ego will push and force and do all of this stuff. Surrender, 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 because there's an organic flow to reality. There's an organic flow to your evolution. Okay. And when we're in alignment with it, it's more joyful. It's peaceful. It's, you're not fighting against the currents. Okay. So that would basically be it. Just every morning taking time for your connection every morning. Another thing I also do is I do affirmations and mantras to help align my mind, because the mind can get, especially with like full moons and energies, it can get really rampant. And so when I do mantras and affirmations, it's like an anchor. Okay. It's an anchor to focus, because our focus is dictating our experience and our reality. But first and foremost, meditation, bring presence and practice that presence, because whatever you continue to do, it grows. So if we're focusing on that observing presence, like we were talking about, it's going to grow. It's going to grow. It's going to grow. It's going to grow. Okay. So that's what I would suggest. And that is what I do in my reality. But obviously follow your highest guidance. Follow what is in alignment for you and your path. Okay.
Yeah. That's so important. And you know, how many times people, and we also maybe, I don't know, I can tell about myself, we've been saying, yeah, I'm going to start meditating. I can feel how good it is. I know how important, like everybody talking about it, all the culture, all the philosophies. You know what, guys? Like beautiful souls, I know that there is a huge resistance, and we've been through that. And yes, in the beginning, you need to devote yourself to that.
Yeah.
You know how it's like we train ourselves in the beginning. It doesn't make you do it if you just understand it here. We need to go into that, you know, write in a journal. This is it. Myself, I love you. And I promise you, these 3 minutes, don't go for 20 in the beginning.
Right.
For people that are talking and they're saying that I'm going to do this and I'm going to start with 3 minutes. There are so many profound technologies as Kundalini. You can do 3 minutes, just, you know, fire, the breath of fire, or anything that will resonate to you. We will definitely share with you, because me and Anna, we have also in common this love for yoga and yoga, the conscious approach to it. And I also love the quantum flow. We will share some of the tools in next videos as well, but I'm sure that there are plenty of things that you could start with 3 minutes, and you will feel and you will see in 7 days, you will never be the same. Because what Anna just said, it is literally shift your perception, your consciousness. Why? Because it's lifting and it is up leveling your vibrational field. Vibration is your currency. Vibration is everything. We are vibrational beings before anything. This is just one of, this is our physical choice. We made the choice to come and have this costume. We love the body. We love this big, but it is transforming with us together. And it has its innate part of it, wisdom. But we need the consciousness. When we say we are the consciousness that need to take the wheel, saying, I understand my little human self. You don't want to go and wake up and do the 3 minutes. But you're going to love it in the end, because the human self will also evolve, open to the expanded version of it.
Yeah.
So for me, what you just said, it's Alpha and Omega. This is the Greek alphabet. You know, I'm Greek.
Yes.
And this is everything. It helps to elevate your energy, your vibration. And what does it mean? You receive different vibes, different frequencies, different positive thinking, because you no longer think, you receive thinking from your higher self.
Yeah.
Here comes your inner self, that the inner being that supports you, loves you. And you know what? After a while, I'm sure you feel that, because I feel your vibe. It's like dating this higher version of your higher universe. You are dating your universe.
Yes.
You see, it's like the love romance affair. It's taking care of you. It brings you over the place. It takes you to the best restaurants, environments, to the best people, and you're just going with that. And you understand that yes, there will be a diversity. There will be something that will come into, but you have to navigate, because the next morning, guess what? You're gonna be the orchestra again. You're gonna be the master. You're gonna be the director, and you're gonna sing. And the other thing that I also do is to, as you said, like, the higher level of the feeling, the feelings are also manifestations, form of manifestations on the subtle realm. So the gratitude is the one that bypasses the mind. So what you say, the heart center, because when you feel, it's like what I feel right now with that, what we're doing is beyond words. I just thank you so much. And I think I'm so grateful to my universe, to my guidance, and that it brought us together in harmony. You can feel that. And people, so this is so precious. This is prosperity. This is abundance.
It is, yeah. And that's important to chime in just real quick. Abundance. It's inward first, and then it's made materialized externally. Okay? The universe takes its cue from you. So your vibration first, then reality follows. Okay? So if we have programming of lack, we got to go in and rewrite that script, okay? And you can do it, because I was raised with all that lack and unworthiness and all of that. But you can do it, okay? You can do this. Abundance inside, abundance outside. It all starts here, friends, okay? So we reverse the script.
Yeah, and it's like, I love that question. I don't remember where I heard it. It's like, imagine yourself, and you just ask, like, what do you believe to be more real? The physical reality or the vibrational one?
Yeah.
It blows your mind, because when you have studied a little bit about the law of vibration, you start to realize, oh my goodness, everything that is surrounding me right now is just the result of my vibrational behavior, attitude, feeling, thinking. It's just the result of it.
Right.
And if I like it, I can change it. And how I change it? I start to work with my vibration. That's why I talk about breathing so much, because it's so much changing the biochemistry in your brain, in your in everything. And you start to, it's like the general cleaning is happening within your body. Like the cleaning lady came in and was like, okay, everybody go out. I'm going to do it here. It's like, I want to do it. Before we close this today, we're going to do 3 minutes, guys. And you take it to you, and it's so simple, and you will feel the difference in such a short time. Just do it for 7 minutes. For 7 days. 3 minutes. We're going to do it. Oh my goodness.
Beautiful. This right here is a manifestation of abundance. So grateful. Thank you.
It is my time. It is my time. Because abundance comes in so different forms for everyone. It's such a huge and vast. It's millions of things that can be listed and felt like abundance. If you feel that you've seen a flower and you have tears on your face, that's abundance.
Yeah. And this what you say, Victoria, about yoga. The yogis always said, don't trust the senses. They knew what to do. They knew that their inner realms had to be more real than the external. Because when your inner world becomes more real than the external, the external will follow. So that's what the yogis knew. Detach from the external, fast from the external world, and dive deep into your inner realms. This is where it's all at. So yes, perfectly said. Thank you.
Yeah. And then everything matters even differently. You can just see this beautiful soul, and it brings tears to your eyes because you feel you are connected to your open heart, and you start to realize there is no separation with anyone or anything. This is the heart consciousness. This is the heart consciousness. This is what we came to remember. So amazing. And you know, as much as we dive into it, and now we are, I feel we've opened so much for both of us, but also for people that are joining in. And I know there is no time, and it might feel like we're doing this just you and me, but it's not, because it has already attracted all these beautiful beings that were guided to that, and we are in this together. And we are building, we are remembering. It's nothing to learn new. We are remembering because it's all in the DNA. And now that this crystalline structure is activating in our bones, oh my goodness, there is no limit to anything. It's just, this is the quantum presence, you know, just here now. I don't even remember what we said before, but what we exactly. Now. It's me now. Excuse me, what's your name again?
Right. Where am I? Oh, jeez. But truth there, yeah.
Because it doesn't matter. I mean, not the name and what you said before, but
right.
what I'm saying is you're not attached to yourself because you're not there anymore. That's old.
Yeah.
How can you be attached to something? What somebody said? This is the shifting. This is what we do. We are just flowing between dimensions.
Yeah. Absolutely. And just to add real quick, because it's arising, is that when you start to lose your memory, I call it the ascension dementia. When this starts to happen, like what we're talking about is just perpetual now, your ego in the beginning may be a little scared. It may be like, is something wrong? Am I losing my mind? Literally, right? Reassure this aspect. Okay. Reassure your ego and let it know it's safe. All is well. We're just shifting dimensions. We're anchoring more light. It's totally normal. This is the new way of being. And it's just going to take a little time to get acclimated to. Okay. And then it becomes really enjoyable because every moment is a simultaneous death and rebirth. And it's just a blank slate for you to create. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Darling, before we do the breathing, because then we're going to be just in that zone even deeper, would you like to share something before we go to the breathing?
Yeah, before we go into meditation, guys, if you don't like to just simply meditate or close your eyes, because in the beginning, if you have a really overstimulated nervous system, I understand. But it's just being mindful. So you can be meditating while doing your dishes, by eating. It's just paying attention, being fully here. So just real quick, before we go into this meditation, we'll just do this for like 30 seconds. Simply just drop your focus into your heart. So what do I mean by that? Just simply bring all of your awareness to the fourth chakra. Okay? Now this is quantum physics. Wherever we place our focus is where we tell consciousness to go. So by simply meditating here, we're telling consciousness to go to this center, and you should naturally start to it'll kind of start to feel like blood's moving there, like an expansion, okay? And the more you do this, the more it'll open. It's very simple. It's powerful. But like Victoria said, you have to be committed. You have to be disciplined, and you have to practice it. The willpower has to be there. But it's just as simple as, I'm going to rest my focus here. And every time the mind comes in, I bring it back. Okay?
So thank you so much. And Anna, something else, I want you to say, we will write everything down below that video, but I also want you to say your website, where people find you, and what people can be, how can they be assisted by you?
Yeah, guys, so you can find me at anna@awayoflight.org. I hold one-on-one sessions, and I also do mentorships. I'm currently booked with my mentorships, but I still have openings for one-on-one private sessions. I also have a blog on there you can check out for free material. For extra free material, I have tons of YouTube videos, youtube.com/Anna Brown. And if you really resonate with my work and you'd like to do more like a donation based, I have a Patreon, and that is patreon.com Anna Brown 7. It's either Anna Brown 7 or Anna E. Brown 7. She'll have it correct in the bio below. But there I have videos and posts that I don't share anywhere else. And there's different tiers that you can sign up for. And the upper tiers we meet every month, once a month. It's called Grid Keepers Circle. And we get together and we talk all about New Earth and higher dimensional living, mastery tools, and all of that. But just follow those links below and you can just take a gander at all of it and see what resonates. But thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam.
Mm-hmm.
It was a real blessing to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you. The energy doesn't lie here, that's for sure. It's beautiful, pristine. The energy is beautiful, it's pristine, it's clear, yeah. Mm.
Yeah, I feel it. We feel it already.
Mm.
And when we want to go a little deeper, so we go, as Anna said, from the mind, deeper to the heart. We just breathe consciously. But what I wanted to do is two cycles of the breathing that I'm going to show you. It's not going to be the breath of fire, something else. It's it's not intense, but it's full breathing from your mouth. You inhale, and it feels like you're starting to inhale from your stomach here and even into your brain. And then let it go from your mouth, just letting go. Inhale and let go. And inhale, let go. So we're going to do another 17 of those. You close your eyes, and then at one point I will tell you to take a breath out and hold there. And then in the inhalation, we're going to hold again. So I'm going to guide you. We begin. Inhale. Rolling. Exhale. Bring all this prana in and out. Inhale. Yes. 5 more. Inhale. Two. Last one. Exhale and hold. Exhale and hold. Inhale. Hold. And relax.
Oof.
So take a time for integration, and as much as you integrate it, I will tell you that this one is quickly shifting, changing the biochemistry in your brain. And it brings so much prana, so much oxygen into your cells. It becomes, and it's catalyzing, it's alchemizing, it's purifying. It's a form of detoxification, but also elevation. You can feel how it helps you so much. You can do that before your meditation, or even just that circle. We're going to go for the second one, and then you will see how deeper the connection deeper space, in that space of just being present now. So are you ready for the second one? Let's go. Inhale. Last repetition here. Five more. Two. And last one. Exhale and hold. Inhale. Hold. Let it go. And just receive all the benefits. You can stay as long as you want here. You can continue your meditation. And it just takes you 3 minutes. Imagine doing that for 21 days, 40 days, or for as long as you wish. It transforms a lot.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Let us know, guys. Let us know how you feel, how you do this beautiful conversation, this beautiful co-creation with my beloved Anna.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so relaxed right now, so it's like, woo, nice and mellow. Yeah, I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Yeah. So follow us, share, and let us know if there is any topic that you would like to feel and see us, sharing with you. And all the best to you, new earthers, new creators.
Yeah.
Yay! Oh, Anna, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for chiming in.
We're gonna have it on our website as well. It's Victoria, it's Anna Yanis, Victoria.com. You will see all the details. There are plenty of things to also listen and to see and connect with us. And this is just a beautiful beginning. Okay. See you very soon, everybody.
Many blessings. Bye-bye.